Okay guys, we're back to Rain Code, Chapter 4's Mystery Labyrinth, and we are currently trying to figure out how the culprit was able to enter this sealed room.
Let's try going back to the fork in the path. Maybe something else changed.
We've gone through last chapter and deduced a whole bunch of ways that it couldn't have happened. So far, I can only see two ways. I stand by the one that he came in on the Armor Pal robot. But other than that, it may have been a case of the culprit had already been in the room with the doctor for the last 90 days and then just kicked the robot over when he was leaving and hid in the vent. So it's one of those two things.
There aren't any new doors. What? There's nowhere to go? What was the point of eliminating all the other paths?
Come on.
Gotta go take a shit.
Don't start with that again. How about you help us for a change? You better cooperate, unless you want to get chopped up by Master Solution Blade.
Hold on, Shinigami.
I don't want to get chopped up. I dislike pain immensely. But you know, the journey up to now wasn't a waste. We did eliminate many possibilities.
But that means nothing if we can't reach the truth.
Nothing? Why do you want the truth in the first place?
Huh?
It's easy to say you want the truth. But are you sure you can handle it? No matter how cruel that truth may be.
I get the feeling the truth of this case is going to be really bad.
Can I handle it?
You can't handle the truth.
I'm still not sure if you're the kind of person who can. I bet you're not sure either. That's why you're still so hesitant. This mystery labyrinth also reflects your reluctance. Maybe that's why you can't reach the truth.
What are you talking about? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I won't hesitate to expose the truth.
So you still haven't realized it? Guess you're not quite there yet.
Is it that he needs a reason of why? Is that what he's saying?
Well, that's fine for now. But eventually, you'll be forced to make a choice.
God, I hope Chief Yako isn't the one that bloody did this. Because, I mean, surely it's not heading that way. God, could it be Chief Yako?
When that happens, you'll have to prove your conviction and expose the truth, like you said.
Enough nonsense. Let's find some clues.
As an apology for the distraction, let me tell you something. This labyrinth appears to change shape by reflecting our investigation. So, instead of following the revealed path, isn't it possible to carve your own path?
Carve my own path?
Now that's interesting.
That's right, Shinigami! We can create new routes with our own deductions. Maybe we can do it here.
Sometimes, just a slight change in perspective is enough to completely change how you see things.
Because the only thing I can think of is that maybe, I mean, let's just say it was Chief Yako. Just hypothetically. He comes in, he stabs the doctor several times, or maybe the doctor was expecting him to come in and rescue him. And so he faked away, yeah, maybe Yako was the one he was talking with on the outside. And so he faked a way for him to come in and pretend like he was being attacked so that he could get inside and I don't know. It just seems strange, I think. Because, yeah, the fact that he keeps going, like, can you handle the truth? Are you sure you can handle it? The fact that he was stabbed by the culprit makes me think that Yako might have been trying to cover things up himself, but then there was somebody there with him. So unless he was passing information on to somebody, or the information that he was trying to get from the doctor got stolen by someone else.
So if I change my perspective here, I might see something new. I see. I was so focused on how to overcome the security system. But that's not right. I need to change my perspective and think about who could have overcome it.
Don't box yourself in with your own assumptions.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
I hate when the anemic vampire tells us what to do. But if Master wants to... Fine. I'll lend you my power. Lay it all out, Master.
Alright, let's have a look. Okay. What's the question here? Shigami puzzle. I mean, for Midsummer Night Feed. Wait, what?
Are you ready to play the Shinigami
Who's
puzzle?
capable of overcoming the security system? It's got to be Armor Pal, right? And we did overcome the security system using Armor Pal.
Go, go, go!
Okay. Who is capable of overcoming? Yeah, Armor Pal. We already proved that. Okay. So again, we must have let the culprit in. Because there's no way there was already an Armor Pal in there. Oh, okay.
A new route appeared.
This is all thanks to me!
Perhaps I said too much. Well, nothing has been solved yet.
I wish you'd express yourself a little better. How can we tell if you're happy or sad?
I've never been happy or sad in my entire life. I want to die someday.
Oh god, Vivia, you're putting me to sleep here. Can you keep those comments to yourself? Jesus.
Anyway, let's explore this new route.
Yeah, let's do that. Up, 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 up we go. Yeah, I still reckon they came in on Armor Pal. That was what that disturbance was. Hopefully it's the correct route this time. Let's move it, Master. Yeah, I hope so too.
When you think about who could get past security, the only option we know of is Armor Pal.
True, and that's how we were able to get through security ourselves.
But it's just a toy robot, right? How is it related to the case?
I don't know yet, but since Amapal can get through security, it must be important.
Here comes Yomi! Or not?
It's sealed off here, too.
Hey, there's an intercom. Maybe someone will respond if you use it.
No way. Huh? Doctor?
Huh? Wait. What the? Wait. Who are you? Help! Somebody come help me!
That would have then forced him to
Isn't
open
this
them.
the footage of when the doctor was attacked?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
The mystery materialized. Must be related to what the doctor just said.
Alright. Who are you was directed at who?
So the question is, who did the doctor say, who are you, to?
Alright, I'm gonna test this theory and say no one.
I'll leave it to you.
I don't get how you can keep reading at a time like this.
Alright, I'm gonna try no one. If I'm wrong though.
The trap didn't activate. Does that mean we found the right answer? Huh? So the right answer is no one?
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Lying son of a...
Why would the doctor say, "Who are you?" if no one was there?
The security was still active at the time, so no one could enter the
Yeah.
doctor's lab, right?
Exactly. And the security log proves that. And he wouldn't have just said, "Who are you?" if he'd had somebody in there with him already for 90 days.
And that was before I borrowed Amapel.
Yeah, exactly. And there was no other armor pal in the room when we entered.
So the only explanation is that no one was there.
What was the doctor's motive? To escape?
Why would he say that if no one was there?
I think if we go there, we'll find the answer.
What? That route's obviously just a side road. Who cares what the old geezer was thinking anyway?
Nah, he wanted to get out. Remember, he wanted to
But it
escape.
looks like this is the only way we can go. Besides, I am curious about what was going through his mind. It could be an important factor in solving the mystery behind this case.
Yeah.
Still, being forced to take a side route is too much trouble.
Oh, God.
Makes me wish I was dead.
Yuma, just take that solution blade and kill him now, please. God. You really plan on going forward? Oh, fine. Is this really the right path? I've got a bad feeling about this. Nah, I think he was directing it at no one, and it was to get them to bring Armor Pal in so that they could bring in somebody else to swap out with him.
So, Master, do you have an idea about what the geezer was thinking?
Not yet, but I think it has to do with why he said, "Who are you?" I think the doctor was putting on an act.
Yeah, exactly.
An act? Really?
Yeah.
The doctor put on an act for a reason, but I have no idea why.
He wanted to escape, and maybe he wanted to fake his own death. That's why.
We have to figure that out by going down this doctor's motive route.
Could it be that Armor Pal was carrying a dead body on its way in, and the doctor knocked Armor Pal over to knock the dead body off of it? Or was it dragging something with it? Alright, yeah, let's go, Yomi.
He's here too?
You rats keep scurrying around. Do you really think you'll discover Dr. Huesca's motive this way?
Yes.
Good luck with that, morons! He had no motive at all!
Oh, yeah. No matter.
Well, he said there's nothing here. Let's head back.
Oh, God.
We can't do that! If he's trying to block our path, then this route must be important.
Nah, fine.
Fine.
I'm only here because you maggots pissed me off.
Oh, shut up. Bloody
So,
try
I'm gonna
hard.
end you here and now!
Let's go, you wannabe. Bloody aced you last time. Alright. Photo, the doctor's email records.
This was all part of the doctor's plan? He didn't have a plan at all!
Oh,
That exchange on the intercom wasn't an act! There was no reason to put on a show. The doctor misunderstood.
oh.
You probably don't know this. Huesca put his soul into his work. The research was going well. The doctor was loyal to Amaterasu.
No, he wasn't.
This is the truth!
He was not loyal! He was a lying scumbag!
No! The doctor was planning on betraying Amaterasu Corporation. He was trying to escape Kanai Ward. He said so in the messages he wrote.
You little...
God, Yomi, I thought you'd have a better argument than that. Yeah, beat it. Alright.
Yomi's rebuttal? What was that? What was he trying to deny? Why was he covering up the doctor's motives?
It seems that this case involves the inner workings of Amaterasu.
Right. The doctor was going to betray Amaterasu. And whoever he was emailing knew that. So the doctor locked himself in the lab to protect himself from that person.
Perhaps the doctor's act had something to do with that.
He's trying to fake his death so that he could escape. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh.
It's the security gate. Everything's locked up.
Right. Slash. How did the doctor plan to escape Kanai
Which
Ward?
means this is a complex problem.
Swapping places. That's what it
We
is.
have to choose the right door and insert the correct solution key.
This is way more hassle than before. Guess I'll leave it to you, Yuma.
As always.
Yeah. He's got to... It was definitely swapping places. What is that thing that keeps showing up on the right-hand side? Is that Vivia's ability? Yeah, it's got to be swapping places. Stab wounds in the back. The doctor's note. A notebook found on the doctor's desk. It has diagrams of a person being splashed with sulfuric acid. Doing this would cause the clothes and skin to melt, rendering the victim unrecognizable. What was the doctor trying to do? Lid is barred but has a hinge to make it easy to open and close. Oh shit, is it the doctor's notes? Is it this one? Oh, it is, right. Yeah.
Oh, the door actually opened. I knew I could let Yuma handle it.
Nice work, Yuma. Do you want a lollipop?
Are you sure you aren't a phantom?
Yeah, he wanted to get out and swap places, so he's probably the one that walked out before. He's probably the one that stabbed Chief Yako. Or is it still him that died? I guess it could still be him that died.
So the doctor tried to swap places with someone else to escape from Amaterasu. The notes he left behind in the lab hinted at his plan.
You mean the diagram with the sulfuric acid being poured on someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going to swap places with a corpse, then melt it with acid.
But it didn't work.
He wanted to disfigure it beyond recognition. That's how he planned to fake his own death.
At the very least, it'd buy him enough time to escape Kanai Ward. Or so he thought.
Wow! Melting a corpse with sulfuric acid?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yay! So cool and grotesque! So who was the substitute supposed to be?
Maybe the hitman. The doctor was under surveillance by Amaterasu, but he was still looking for a chance to escape.
God, now I'm really starting to worry that it really is Chief Yako. If the doctor did get killed, like, I'm wondering if it is Chief Yako that was writing Armor Pal, because whoever was writing Armor Pal had to have known that Fubuki, well, they would have had to have some kind of special protection though as well, which we didn't see any traces of, unless they gave that because the person that walked out had some kind of overcoat when they were walking away from Yako.
When he learned a hitman was after him, he figured his chance had arrived. The doctor was hoping to use the security system to kill the hitman and use the body as a decoy.
Right.
Now that I think about it, the doctor did seem to be waiting for the hitman to arrive.
The hitman hasn't arrived yet. When will he show up? Don't tell me this so-called first-rate hitman was captured by peacekeepers.
But the hitman never did show up. That's why the doctor had a sudden change of plans.
And that was the act he put on by asking you, "Who are you?"
Perhaps that was a trap to lure you in, Yuma.
He was trying to lure Master?
He considered taking advantage of the detectives, since the hitman never showed up. So if he called for help, he would charge into the lab, not knowing anything about the security system, and thereby acquire the corpse he needed as his decoy.
That's pretty gnarly. God.
That seems overly complicated. Like those guys who overthink asking girls out.
But the hitman actually was
He couldn't
it.
have used another researcher. Someone would have noticed their absence. He needed visitors. People from outside to pull it off.
God, was it really Yako? Did Yako really kill him?
So if I didn't know about the security and had rushed into the lab,
You'd be a super sexy skeleton right now. Aw, so close.
You'd be out of it too, Shinigami.
you want that?
But the doctor's plan failed, and he actually got boom killed by the hitman.
Okay, so he did get killed.
I get what he was trying to do, but what about the impossible murder?
Assuming the attack on the doctor was just an act when we saw him through the intercom,
Reason.
we at least know for sure the real attack hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
In other words, the culprit entered the lab after
On
that
top of the
exchange.
armor pal. That's, yeah.
So the problem is, when did they actually enter?
With armor pal. God, did Yako... It's gotta be Chief Yako that did this, right? Did he kill the doctor and then, like, go to such extreme lengths to fake? But then why would he point out the hitman? Unless, was it number one?
Where are we?
What are we? Why am I a puppet? Oh, looks like the game developers ran out of time and budget and just decided to animate us like this for this section.
This place is a real mystery. Then again, I suppose that checks out.
Huh? Shinigami?
Yeah! Master, this looks like an important turning point! So, is that your final answer?
I haven't said anything yet!
What is the answer? The culprit entered the lab before Armor Pal. No.
Master, you need to narrow down the timing for when the culprit got inside.
No, they entered it after Armor Pal shut the security
now then,
off.
Here's a fateful fork in the road. It's life or death. We're at the crossroads of mystery and solution. This earth-shattering choice may be your last. Now, Master, which one will you choose?
No. Huh? Oh. Oh, right. Sorry. No. Okay, no, I get it. It's just the way it's worded, sorry. Yes, the culprit entered before Armor Pal. As the door was slowly, it's like I was saying, as the door was slowly opening, they got off, went inside, killed the doctor, and then when Armor Pal came in, they kicked it over. Sorry. I thought it was talking about what we were just talking about before. Yes.
When I directed Amapal to go into the doctor's lab, he already had a knife stuck in him. Which means he was murdered before Amapal entered the doctor's lab.
There was plenty of time because the door took forever to open. They already got in.
Answer?
Yeah, sorry. I just misread what was going on there. I was like, I had the correct answer in my head, but I selected the wrong one on screen.
Correct! Congratulations, Master! Would you like to double down?
What are you talking about? Anyway, let's keep going.
Okay, yeah. God, was it really Yako?
Little by little, we're narrowing down when the culprit entered.
Yeah, but we still don't know how yet. It had to be between when we spoke to the doctor over the intercom and when Amapal entered his lab.
I am
During
starting
that
to...
time, the culprit entered the doctor's lab and murdered him.
So the most likely time would be when you went to borrow Amapal, Master. The culprit had to have entered the lab then.
No, because the lab wasn't...
Fubuki waited at the front chamber while Desuhiko and I went to borrow Amapal.
Exactly.
She said no one entered or left the lab.
And it couldn't have been Fubuki. I think it must have been Yako. As much as I hate to admit it, it's looking like it is him.
Huh? We're back on the original path.
Maybe you're supposed to try opening that door now.
Because it definitely couldn't have been Amapal's creator, because we left him in the lab and Fubuki was watching. It couldn't have been Fubuki because she didn't have any of the equipment to get through. I mean, she could have gotten through the electric maze, but even then, like, she might not. Like, the thing is, she couldn't have gotten through the gas chamber. Like, Yako must have had some way of getting through, and I reckon the overcoat that we saw the culprit wearing is that they then pulled off as they walked around the corner might have been what Chief Yako had been wearing.
I'm sure that from here on out, it's not just about when, but also how the culprit got in.
They must have already been waiting inside the airtight corridor before we got there. And they were waiting up inside... Yeah, they were waiting inside the air vent.
Yuma, there's no need to push yourself if things get too hard.
Alright, devil's advocate. Bloody settle down.
No, I can do it. I'm going to solve it.
This is kind of reminding me of some of the Danganronpa games where when you discover the truth, it's just such a painful truth. I think that's what's going to happen here. That's why I'm thinking it could be Yako too. Where was the culprit before the crime?
This is a map of the critical lab.
So we have to determine where the culprit was before the murder.
We'll have to solve them one at a time. Let's start with this mystery.
If we know where the culprit was before they got in, this route will be clear too.
Yeah.
Do you know where, Yuma?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah. It had to have been here. Yeah, that's the only place it could have been.
The culprit must have been here.
Yeah.
Yay! It opened!
After the exchange on the intercom, given there was always a detective at the front chamber, when we went to borrow Amapal, the culprit had to have already made their way inside. But the airlock is the only location that isn't affected by the security system. There, the culprit had to be inside that decontamination device before committing the crime.
Yeah, and then they stepped on top of Amapal's head as we went into the room.
Yeah.
Ah, another mystery solved. Just how far are you planning to go, Yuma?
By the way,
Right, you went inside the decontamination device to check it out. Nice memory. And there was that little bit of, yeah. Now the big question is how they got through.
But I thought he was just hiding in there to avoid being spotted after the crime.
No, he was in there before, and he stepped on top of Armor
was
Pal.
in there before the crime too?
And the thing is...
Yeah, the culprit was waiting for their chance. But we had no idea when we sent Amapel into the airlock.
Because the other thing
Then
is,
from
whoever
there,
it was...
You guided Amapal to the doctor's lab.
Okay,
So the culprit entered the doctor's lab before then?
no,
How would that be
they
possible?
didn't. No.
Only Amapal could get past security, right?
Yeah, that's the next big question.
Because the other thing is, they must have been aware of
Maybe the culprit
Fubuki's
used another
power.
Amapal unit.
No.
No, the researcher mentioned there was only
Yeah,
one
exactly.
functioning Amapel.
Which means the Amapal Yuma controlled was the only one that could get past security.
So the culprit must have taken advantage of Master's Amapal to get into the doctor's lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way. But how did they use it?
They was sitting on top of its
There's no
head.
solving the doctor's murder until we figure that out.
Well, I have an idea.
Oh, wait. No, before BBS says anything, I think because I think what must have happened is, what might have happened was, because I kept thinking they rode Armor Pal into the room, but I think what might have happened instead, now that it makes sense, is they might have stepped out of the vent once Armor Pal came into the room, and that's where we got that bit of static that happened. They then let Armor Pal go through, get through all the traps, turn off the security, and then when the door was slowly opening, that's when they made their move. They came through the deactivated trapped rooms and went through the door while Armor Pal was waiting there for the door to open all the way. Because Armor Pal's line of sight was blocked by the door opening, and it was staring straight ahead. Because, yeah, I kept wondering about the gas, and I thought there's no way they would have survived the gas in the room. And, like, even the electric floor, I thought, even if they'd known about Fubuki's forte and knew that she would be able to get them through, there was the gas room. There's no way they could have survived without some kind of thing. So I think they stepped on Armor Pal as Armor Pal came into the room to get out quietly, and then let it go through and deactivate everything. And then they just ran through once it was all deactivated. That's got to be what it is. Because we haven't found any evidence of there being like some kind of coat or something that was used to cover up the gas. So, yeah, that has to have been it. Whether or not that still means it was Chief Yako or not is the question that I'm still not sure of. But then I'm thinking about all the people that we've met in this case so far. Like, Yomi was there. So unless it was Yomi who did it, but then that wouldn't make sense for him to then just show up the way he did. Because whoever it was wearing a lab coat. Yeah, we're getting close, but I'm figuring it out. Yeah.
What is it?
How about giving up?
I mean,
I'm getting
yeah,
tired.
I just can't see them having rode it
Nope,
in
motion denied.
because of the gas chamber. Alright, here we go.
Another fork in the road? Such a complicated mystery labyrinth.
This is fun. I'm liking where this is going. We're getting through it little by little. How did the culprit use Armor Pal? Right.
Beyond each problem lies the truth. We're definitely getting closer to the heart of this mystery.
Oh god, like... It's either as a shield or neither. It just depends on how this game interprets it.
Then,
If you don't know, we could always give up. No? Well, too bad. I have a feeling we're getting closer to the heart of the mystery. I just have no idea what it is. Okay, it's either as a shield or neither. I just don't know how this game is going to interpret it based on what I just said. I'll say as a shield. It's not as a weapon, I don't think.
Huh? What do you mean, use Amapal as a shield?
Amapal is supposed to be sturdy enough to withstand an elephant stepping on it, right? The culprit may have used Amapal as a shield against the security system.
So, the culprit followed behind Amapal to avoid the toxic gas and explosions?
I get it! You're so smart, Master!
Yeah.
Really? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, because once the gas contamination
Hey,
chamber...
Master,
Yeah, it would have been done.
how smart and logical he is.
Yeah. That's right, now I'm going to kill you. Stupid humans. Kill, kill.
Master wasn't smart after all!
No, I was.
Come on, take it from the top!
The toxic gas can't be by...
It's gonna crush us!
Oh, is it a no? Oh no, it can't. Wait, sorry. God, again, it's just so hard to know what the game is sort of meaning.
Yeah! Even if Amapal itself is fine, it wouldn't be able to protect the culprit from the toxic gas.
The high voltage shocks can be bypassed with armor power. No?
Even though Amapal is sturdy, it couldn't withstand the high voltage shock from the panel chamber.
So did I guess that wrong? Sorry? Like I said, it's just however the game interprets it. Like, I think I've figured it out. Vivia's garments. Are we going to go sent back here? So it would have been as neither then. Right.
Which means it'd be impossible to use Amapal to protect yourself.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah.
You're only realizing this now. At this rate, you'll be a grandpa before you stop being a rookie.
Okay, I said as a shield because I thought that might have been interpreted as he was using armor power to go through, deactivate all the things in the room, and then shut it off, and that's what it interprets as a shield.
Perhaps you will improve in the next life.
I'm trying my best in this life.
It's alright, Yuma. It's okay, we already know. It's gotta be neither.
Do you think neither is really the right answer?
I think so.
Given the process of elimination, that must be it. Amapal's hands aren't designed to hold anything, so it couldn't use the knife to murder the doctor. Which means Amapal wasn't the murder weapon.
It was just used to set off the
The
security.
culprit couldn't have used it as a shield.
Yeah.
It can't neutralize the toxic gas, and the high voltage shock would destroy it.
So then, how did the culprit use Amapal?
I think we'll find out if we continue down this path.
They were just using it to shut off the security. But I think as well...
That was the wrong answer! Come on, Master!
That can't have been the wrong answer. Unless all of them are wrong again. Oh, God.
Huh?
We've been here before. It looks like we've been brought back.
But the door we opened earlier is closed again. Why's that?
Yeah, I wonder why.
Huh? Even the question is the same. Does that mean we gotta do it all over again?
Well, the logic is still sound. There's no other hiding spot for the culprit besides the airlock.
So you want to choose the same answer and keep going?
Okay, unless... Does this mean that it was the other thing and that the culprit was in the room with them the whole time?
If you do, you'll just repeat the whole process again.
So it has to have meant that they were in the room with them the whole time.
We'll just be brought back here if we can't figure out how did the culprit use Amapao. And I refuse to walk any more than I have to.
Hey, don't sit down!
What should I do?
Stand up! Stand up right now!
That's it, Shinigami.
Stop it. Leave me alone.
Just backhands her.
If you want me to leave you alone, then help my useless master out!
No, so maybe the culprit was in the room the whole time, but then that guy said that he was pedantic about checking all the boxes for any sign of anyone in there. He said it's not that it would have been big enough.
Fine. Just one thing then. We're back at where was the culprit before the crime? Because you're stuck at how did the culprit use Amapao?
It used it to disable the security system.
With that in mind, these two questions are connected.
Connected? Both the culprit's location and how Amapao was used?
Help him out more! More!
The culprit was hiding in the airlock, where you also left the robot, right? At that moment, only the culprit and Amapao were there. So maybe the culprit did something.
They stepped on it.
The culprit did something to Amapao?
Clues are always there, right under your nose. It's a detective's job to notice them. Did you notice anything strange back then? Any tiny detail?
Yeah, it was the footprint.
Try to remember.
Something strange. Hey, now that you mention it,
Yeah, it was
back then.
It was the fuzz thing.
Oh, hey, the screen lit up.
Yeah.
It's like the cockpit of a mecha.
Wait for it.
Whoa, what was that?
Did they hack it?
Did it break already? I thought it was state of the art.
No, it's all right. It's stabilized. There was a moment when the camera stopped functioning while I was controlling Amapao. It returned to normal pretty quick, but maybe...
See? I told you it was right under your nose. You don't need any additional help from me. Right?
That was a clue to help solve this mystery?
Actually, everything in this world is a key to solving mysteries. You just haven't noticed them.
Right.
Perhaps there is more you're overlooking. Was there anything else unusual?
Something unusual. Something I missed.
Anything else? It's not like Amapao's camera showed the culprit.
Wait, that's it!
Huh?
Did they hack it?
Now that I think about it, wasn't that strange? The culprit must have gotten ahead of Amapao, but why didn't they ever show up on the camera?
Because of the door.
If the culprit went past Amapao to enter the doctor's lab, they would have been spotted for sure.
Now that you mention it,
But nobody showed up on camera. How did the culprit manage to pull that off?
Because at the freaking door.
How can you move from the airlock to the doctor's lab without appearing even once on Amapao's camera?
Because Amapao.
hey, aren't you just adding another mystery?
No.
All the pieces are here.
Yeah.
Yuma, the mysteries you face now can be solved with a single answer.
A single answer?
Sheesh. I talk too much.
Oh, you talk too slow. That's your problem. Where was the culprit before the crime? What caused Amapao's meltdown?
One mystery after
Why didn't the
another!
culprit appear on camera? How did the culprit use Amapao?
What do you do now? It's a Pandora's box of mysteries!
Let's stay calm and think about it. There's plenty of time.
Or not. I'll keep reading while you wrap things up.
Remember what he said, Master. All it takes is one answer to solve these mysteries. Use those weak brain cells of yours and think!
Culprit's location. Amapal's usage. Its malfunction. Why didn't the culprit appear on camera? All this can be solved with just one answer?
Another culprit using as transportation. Culprit jumped on it.
I got it!
Yeah, I was right with the original thing, yeah.
Culprit rode on Amapal's head, using it as a method of transportation.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
The door opened!
With every open door, it will be harder for you to turn back. Are you sure you want to keep going?
Okay. Alright, so my initial theory then was correct. I guess I just don't know how they got through the gas chamber then. They must have
Absolutely.
been wearing some kind of
We'll find the
protection.
truth no matter what. This is for the Nocturnal Detective Agency.
It's got to be Yako, I think. Because the thing is, if they were writing, they would have had to know, like, especially in the electric room, it would have been like,
Hey, you said the culprit rode on top of Amapal. What did you mean by that?
Literally what I said. The culprit rode Amapal and used it to get through.
and they would have had to have known about Fubuki's forte.
After we left Amapal in the airlock, the culprit came out of the decontamination device.
Yeah.
Then they jumped on Amapal's head.
Yeah.
The disruption in the footage was from the impact.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
And they must have known about Fubuki's forte, because otherwise they wouldn't have stayed on the head. They would have known about the electric panel thing, and the only one that could have known about that would have been Yako.
I think it's fairly reasonable. Amapal can withstand up to 100 kilograms
Kilograms of weight, yes. So
So someone riding
riding
on
on
it
it shouldn't affect its functionality. Yeah.
The shoe print on Amapal's head wasn't caused by someone kicking it. It was left there from the culprit hopping on and off.
After that, the culprit simply rode on it as it moved toward the doctor's lab.
Yeah.
By doing so, the culprit was able to evade the camera and remain hidden as they made their way through the lab.
Yeah.
You're right. If it's true, then it does solve all of the previous mysteries.
So what about the gas one, though?
Imagining the culprit riding on a robot makes me laugh.
But Yuma, have you not
Yeah, there's
realized
the gas chamber and the electric
You're
chamber.
still missing something.
Yeah.
One major mystery remains.
Yeah, I know.
What's with that huge sigh?
Sorry, I cut off his sigh.
The greatest mystery of this case should appear soon. Just the thought of it gets me feeling down.
Oh, shut up.
This case's greatest mystery?
Yeah. How did they survive the gas chamber and the electric chamber? As I said, it has to have been somebody that knew about Fubuki's forte.
This is the panel chamber.
Yeah.
That means the doctor's lab is just beyond it. If we can get through here, we'll reach the goal, yeah?
Unless they...
Is this the greatest mystery you mentioned?
Not exactly what I was envisioning.
Well, this is the mystery to be solved, so let's clear it out.
It would have had to have been when the door was opening. Because if they got off beforehand, there was always the
It's
risk.
me.
Yeah. Sorry, when would it have been possible for them while opening the door? It's got to be while opening the door. No.
The culprit murdered the doctor before Amapal entered the room.
Yeah.
Which means the culprit had to have gotten ahead of Amapal at some point.
Yeah. I mean, when the door was opening.
It was when the door first opened. At that moment, the culprit snuck into the doctor's room.
Yeah, when the doors were slowly opening, just like this. That's when the culprit took their chance.
Yeah.
Right. The moment there was enough space for a person to slip through, the culprit hopped off and went inside.
Yep.
Like this?
Would have been up and over. Yeah. Oh god, I was wondering when you were going to show up again.
We still haven't reached the goal. I thought we could get into the doc's lab now.
Is this a joke to you? Your deduction is full of holes. If this is a joke, it's not very funny.
Master, you know what to do.
Of course.
I'll take your garbage deduction and toss it in the trash.
Man, I can't wait to get out of this. I just beat the shit out of you,
I
Yobi.
am the saint of Kanai Ward, protecting it from filth like you!
Oh, shut up. It'd be funny if he actually was a saint of Kanai Ward after all that. Yeah, it's gotta be Fubuki's.
The culprit hopped off Amapal as the door opened, then slipped through the gap in the door.
Oh no!
That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it.
Ah!
If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit, the camera would have caught it. No one would do something so risky. The crime would have been exposed. The culprit must be really lucky.
No, I think I missed
What,
it,
did
sorry.
they use some sort of special power?
Right.
House camera had been running, we would have seen the culprit. Obviously, that didn't happen. But would they really have such a risky method of working? Sorry, was Pal's camera even working? That might be the first thing you need to confirm.
For now.
Does something seem off to you, Master? Let's check the solution keys then. Sorry, it's Pal's
The
design.
culprit hopped off
Yeah.
Amapal as the door opened, then slipped through the gap in the door. That's impossible even for Fink the Slaughter Artist! Think about it. If Amapal's line of sight changed just a bit,
No, it couldn't because Pal was locked in place. Yeah, take that loose one.
Amapal is designed so that when its hand is stretched out, it won't execute any other inputs. That's why when it was pressing the button for the door, the culprit didn't show up on the camera.
you little maggots, don't get so full of yourselves.
What, do you got something else?
You're not getting out of here alive.
God, we're so close.
I get it. So Amapal couldn't move while the
Yeah,
door was
while the door
open.
was opening. That's why, because its arm was extended.
That's when the culprit took their chance.
Since the door opens outward,
Yeah.
it's possible to take advantage of the blind spot it
Yeah,
creates.
exactly. Yep.
That's how the culprit managed to stay outside the camera's view as they entered the doctor's room.
And then they just waited over to the side and pushed it over.
So it's an elaborate murder that took advantage of Amapal's design, and even the direction the door opens. Whoever planned this must have really wanted the doctor dead. I guess you can call it an obsession.
I'm starting to think if it was Yako and you needed his motive, maybe the person in the picture was somebody that the doctor
How
killed.
scary. Just like this passageway.
That was somebody that, yeah, it was somebody that Yako cared about and she was killed by the doctor.
where will it take us? Perhaps a suite with the culprit's obsession on full display? A room of nightmares?
Knock it off with the weird soliloquies. Let's go.
You're really going?
Huh?
Again, go away!
Hey, Yuma. When the culprit entered the doctor's room while the door was open,
Huh? Yeah?
at the time, the doctor was in the room, right? If the door opened and an intruder entered, how could the doctor not have noticed?
They probably weren't looking at the door, they were probably looking away from it. Or they might have turned their back. And because the doctor can't hear, he didn't hear the culprit sneaking up on him.
So what if he did notice? It's not a big deal.
Yes, it is. If he had noticed an intruder, the doctor would have turned to face him.
But he didn't because he couldn't hear them.
Which means he wouldn't have been stabbed in the back.
The doctor was probably walking over, saw them come in, walked over to get something, and then got stabbed in the back by them.
That piece of trash is right. Your logic is flawed.
Get out of here, Yobi.
Hey, what are you, on the Phantom side now?
Listen to my incredible words of wisdom.
Oh, shut up. I got you
Your crappy
beat,
deduction
Yobi.
is worth less than shit! Everything you do is a fucking mistake!
I don't know, man. We've beaten you at every twist and turn so far. Everything you said's a fucking mistake. Nah, I got you, Yobi. God, you are the worst. Absolute most competent peacekeeper of them all. I hope freaking, what's his name, Makoto bloody locks you up after this. Leads you away kicking and screaming.
Damn it!
Oh, okay, it's just a repel.
Your deduction is inconsistent! It's full of inconsistencies! By your logic, even if the doctor could be stabbed, it wouldn't be from behind.
Oh, God.
That's all impossible!
Sorry, I let the thing not get closer. There should be a contradiction somewhere. You've got to find it and repel it. Yeah, sorry, I tried, but the frickin' thing wasn't close enough.
Your deduction is inconsistent. It's full of inconsistencies.
Oh, shut up, Yumi.
By
No!
your logic, even if the doctor could be stabbed, it wouldn't be from behind.
That claim doesn't
Yes. Yeah. Take those words and eat them, asshole.
No, the culprit did stab the doctor in the back. That's how the body was discovered.
Yeah, you stupid idiot.
That's why I'm saying your deduction is inconsistent. By your logic, the doctor couldn't have been murdered in that way!
No, he could have. Now, give me the solution key about the doctor's condition. Yeah.
The culprit quickly entered the lab. But
Oh,
the
God,
doctor was in the
Doc.
room at the time, right? There's no way you missed an intruder. Running is noisy.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. Yes, I know. I realized it was wrong the minute I let it. The intruder. Oh, sorry. And if they were, their footsteps would have been loud. According to that solution key. Yeah, the doctor was hard of hearing. The volume of the intruder's footsteps wouldn't have made a difference. What?
The culprit quickly entered the lab.
Hang on a minute.
But the doctor was in the room at the time, right? There's no way you missed an intruder. Running is noisy.
Yes.
So Huesca would have heard and turned to face the culprit. And his chest would have been stabbed, not his back. Unless you think the doctor was asleep. Is there any trace of him being drugged? Even if he didn't look back from his desk, he would have heard someone coming.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, it was right. I was just waiting for him to make that. I kept thinking it's got to be that key.
Wait, the doctor had trouble hearing. That's why he didn't notice the intruder.
Exactly.
Now you're spouting nonsense. Say whatever you want, it won't save you. There's a gaping hole in your logic. And there's no way you're gonna fill it at this rate. Because you, more than anyone else, you're the one refusing to see the truth right before your eyes.
God, what do you mean? You and Vivia. God.
What? I refuse to see the truth?
It's gotta be Yako, I think.
Vivia said the same thing. But
Is that why he didn't want to investigate before?
It's strange, don't you think? Isn't it about time you noticed that something's off here?
Yeah.
huh?
You've solved many mysteries up to now, yet none of them are directly connected to the culprit's identity.
That's because the culprit is the hitman.
No, it's not.
If that's the case, why haven't you reaped the hitman's soul? And that would end the labyrinth.
It's not that easy. The culprit will fight back unless we solve all the mysteries first. Hang on. What are you getting at?
In my eyes, the reason a single mystery hasn't been directly connected to the culprit is because of Yuma's reluctance. It's pushing away the mysteries that lead to the culprit.
Is it because of the fact that, they had to have known in the shock room about Shinigami's ability to turn back time? That's got to be what it is, I think. That's what proves it must have been Yako, because no one else, it had to have been a detective that knew. And there's no way it would be Vivia.
Huh?
Subconsciously, you're closing your eyes to the truth. That's why you haven't touched on the hole in your reasoning.
Yeah.
What hole?
They still haven't worked out how they actually got through.
Whatever, that's enough. Just ignore this guy and keep going.
Hey!
Yuma.
Okay, I think we'll wrap the
Yuma.
chapter up here, guys, because I think there's still
Jeez,
quite a
go
bit to
away.
go.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you? The huge hole in this investigation.
Sorry, hang on a minute. I'll just wait until we can stop,
What
because
are you-
he won't stop saying.
Just ignore him.
Let's review your deduction, shall we?
Alright, come on.
The culprit took advantage of Amapau's locked position and entered the lab.
Yes?
And before the robot entered the room, that person stabbed the doctor from behind. However, they bumped into Amapau while escaping, causing it to fall over. That was obviously a mistake, but since it wasn't captured on video, they were able to avoid detection. After that, the culprit went inside the decontamination device in the airlock to hide from you.
That's correct. So what's the hole in my deduction?
It's before all of that. It remains
Yeah.
the case's greatest mystery.
How did they get through the gas chamber in the electric
Which
field,
is?
right?
How did the culprit get
Yes!
past security?
Thank you. I'm glad we're touching on
What?
that. Yeah, we're finally touching on that.
Already told you that.
Alright, sorry, I think we'll wrap the chapter up here, guys, because I get the feeling this one's got a bit more to go. So when we come back, yeah, hopefully, I know how they did it for the electric chamber, but not the gas chamber yet. So when we come back, I guess we'll be deducing that. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you for the next chapter, which might be the end of the Mystery Labyrinth, or might still have a lot more to go, but I guess we'll see. So I'll see you then, guys. Bye.